name is Eden Keruke, CSO Murang'a zone. I can see there is Mugesha present. I didn't get the names of the other schools that are present from Murang'a, but whichever way we shall be meeting. For now, we are all Kandara people. Now, there are some very important documents that you've been asked to read. I want to give you the website of PSC. I know you may know it already, but just the website where you can go to downloads and download there those important documents like the Code of Regulation, the Code of Conduct for teachers, Code of Conduct and Ethics for teachers. The website is www.tsc.go.ke. So the moment you go to that website, you should be able to get those documents because sometimes you may try to locate one in the school and you're not able to. Yet it is a very important document that you need to read so that you can be updated on what's supposed to be done. Now, I've been asked to take us with contemporary issues, or what we're referring to as the emerging issues with respect to our profession. I'll look into two of them, and then my colleague, Madam Nancy, will look at some other two of those issues. One of them is what we are calling S, you can write that, SB, capital, SBTSS, SBTSS. SBTSS stands for School-Based Teacher Support System. School-Based Teacher Support System. I want to take you very fast through what caused or what made us to come up with this system, or what culminated to SBTSS. The World Bank did a research in Kenyan secondary schools as well as primary schools, and they realized that the learners were not performing very well. And so the question was, why are learners performing so poorly? And so some of the findings they came up with is that there is lack of proper pedagogical approaches by teachers, that teachers are mainly using teacher-centered pedagogies. And I know through your training you have been taught about learner-centered methodologies, isn't it? So they are not using those. They are also not very okay with the mastery of content, and so there was need for teachers to have some form of support moving forward. I'm just going to take it very fast on some of the support systems that are available to the teachers within the school, because we're talking of school-based teacher support. We have peer virtual support. And this is whereby you have, say, like WhatsApp for teachers from within the school or from schools that are in the neighborhood, whereby you interact with them. There is so much you can learn from one another. True or false? Yes. So there is so much you can learn from colleague teachers. You can also learn through interactions. Like today, you should know at least a few people by the time you're leaving this place, isn't it? Or just not the one from your school and that's it. Yes, you should reach out so that you can get to know others. So we're saying through WhatsApp groups or peer learning, one can be able to be supported by the colleagues. Within the school, we have lesson observation. For the lesson observation, you can observe a more experienced teacher teaching. Assuming you're a teacher of, say, business studies, you may want to see how the teacher of business does their thing, okay? Say you're a teacher of CRE, you may want to know how the other teacher is teaching. Considering they have been in the profession for a while, there are a few tricks they may have learned, isn't it? So lesson observation will help you even to see how the others are doing it. and especially if they are well prepared for their lesson. I'm not talking of the kind of lesson they are just lecturing. That one may not help you much. Then we also have another support, which is lesson study. Lesson study involves a number of teachers who are teaching the same subject or subjects that are related. For example, let's say you're in a secondary school and you're teaching a topic, say, in chemistry on gases. A topic on gases can be found in chemistry as well in physics, isn't it? And as such, these teachers who teach this concept can sit down and plan a lesson together. They come up with a lesson plan together, they come up with the resources together, they teach the lesson together, and then they critique that particular lesson. They ask themselves, what went well in the lesson? What were the strengths of our lesson? Because they will do it together. One of them will present, the others will be observers. Are we together? That is what we call a lesson study. So after the lesson has ended and they have been discussed, then they will come up with an improved lesson, which again they present maybe in another class or in the same class but another time. Are we together so far? Yes, you have now the notebook. I hope you're taking notes. The other support that may be available to the teachers is what we call action research. Again, as a group of teachers, you can send to carry out research within the school to address a problem that has been lingering in that particular school for a while. And the first thing you do, of course, is to try to solve a local problem by first identifying what that problem is. Could be that there is absenteeism. Let us first see what these people are doing, then we can proceed. All right, now I hope you are now back. So tumemalizana now. They are trying to do something. Let's carry on. I'm saying, in as far as action research is concerned, you first identify what the problem is. What problem are we trying to solve? Yeah, probably it is a problem to do with absenteeism of learners. So you go out to carry out a research. Why are learners absent? You may be surprised at the reason as to why they are absent from school. Some of them, you may find that probably the pitch materials are not okay. And so they decide I'm not going to school because I'm likely to fall into the pitch material. But for you to think they are defiant, they don't want to come to school, they will tell you the reasons as to why. So you carry out a research. I know you have done research before, so you can carry out a simple research with an intention of carrying out some action, okay, or getting some intervention to that particular problem. So basically, those are some of the ways in which a teacher may be supported within a school. That is what we call the SBTSS design. This is something that can take us several days to talk about. So what I'm giving you is just but what? A sketch. Sawa? Now, we have already mentioned that the research that was done by the World Bank, we talked about the baseline study that was done in 2016. They realized that there was too much teacher-centeredness in the learning teaching process. So, a solution has come to be sought, and the solution they got is that why don't we use more learner-centered what? Pedagogies. And one of such pedagogies is what we call inquiry-based learning. IBL. I don't know whether you did that in your undergraduate or during your college days. Did you? Inquiry-based learning? What do you find? All right. So when it comes to inquiry-based learning, we talk about more of learner engagement and less of what the teacher is doing. Now, there are several levels of inquiry-based learning. There are actually 4. So allow me to give you the 4 levels of inquiry-based learning. But across the columns, I want you to write one problem, then procedure, then conclusion. Across problem, procedure, conclusion. Then downwards, moving down on the side, on the far left-hand side, I want you to start by writing confirmatory, followed by next, moving down, that is on the far left, downwards, you have written confirmatory, then let's have structured inquiry. Next, let's have guided inquiry, and lastly, open inquiry. So the ones which are moving down, that is from the confirmatory, we refer to them as levels of inquiry-based learning. So we have first level, which is confirmatory, the second one is structured, the third one is, which one is the third one? Guided, and the fourth one is what? Open. Now, when it comes to teaching, let me give you an example of a problem. You want your learners, we all done mathematics, and I'm just going to think of the simplest of the mathematics, right? About area. Sawa? Area of a circle, situko sawa? Area of a rectangle, we are good, isn't it? Now, having taught your learners about the area of a circle and the area of a rectangle, for example, they already know how to calculate the area of those ones. And now you want to introduce something else. You want to talk about the surface area. And this time what the problem is, you want to get them to calculate the surface area of a cylinder. The surface area of a cylinder. Now, most teachers will go on and say, today we are going to study the surface area of a cylinder. Then they will also say the procedure is we calculate the area of the top, we add to the area of the bottom, we calculate the area of the curved surface. Then they conclude and say now this is the area of a cylinder. Surface area of a cylinder. Are you seeing what we are saying? So it's like you as a teacher, you are doing virtually everything. And the assumption you are making is that the learners are empty. The learners cannot be, yet you taught them about the area of a circle. Yet you taught them about the area of a rectangle. Suppose you, now that level, we call it the confirmatory. They are only confirming wanakuwekea tick. So you can also put tick. Confirmatory hapo kwa procedure, kwa problem weka tick. Hapo kwa kwingine kwa procedure weka tick. Na conclusion weka tick. So uko na tick ngapi? 3. That is confirmatory. Are we together so far? Okay. Now suppose you go ahead and tell them, you give them the problem. Today we are going to work on the surface area of a cylinder. Then you give them the procedure. Then you let them now make a conclusion. This one now will be structured inquiry. Tuko pamoja? So tuko na tick ya problem, tuko na tick ya procedure, but we do not have any tunaweka cross hapo kwa conclusion. Sawa sawa? So you have only let them to make conclusion. The next one is guided. The guided inquiry is where you're giving them the problem. Today we are going to work on the surface area. You even give them the resources. The most interesting part is that you may be shocked at how creative the learners are. They are likely to open the cylinder that you give them so that they have the rectangular part. Tuko pamoja? So they will be like, so this is it. So this curved part was actually a rectangle before it was curved. So they are actually going to get the procedure and they also do the conclusion. So you are not just to give them the problem, to let them also think and figure out how how to go about now, because you have already taught them the basics of area. And that is the only way your learners will learn better than when you're just on farm. Chemistry, the procedure today we are going to work out there. The ion present in solid white. The procedure is, the conclusion is. Now you know what I'm talking about. And that is so very common. It is very common among teachers. They tend to imagine the learners are empty vessels, repositories to be deposited some knowledge, you know. You are the one with the knowledge, them they have no knowledge, which is so wrong. Whatever it is that you're teaching, that's their need. Give them the scripture, whatever it is that they need to read, let them interpret, let them come up with their conclusion. Then you can now give them a now more informed kind of conclusion from their own conclusion. That way it will make more sense to them. Are we together so far? So in essence, I'm trying to say that when we got, that was now guided. See, guided, you only give the problem. So put an X what? Procedure and another X for what? Conclusion. And then there is the open inquiry. This is where they figure out the problem. This one is rather advanced. Unless you're doing your master's, you are required to write a proposal where you're going to come up with a problem. The statement of the what? The problem. That is rather advanced. Probably that can be applicable when it comes to engineering fair, okay? Where they come up with a problem of their own and then make a presentation moving forward. But it is not okay to just have the confirmatory level of inquiry, because that way you are actually making the learners lazy. Not only are you making them lazy, you're also making them feeling inadequate. You're also making them, it's also tiresome, isn't it? It is very tiresome. Just sit there confirming. Let them be engaged. Reading through something about CBC in where a concert in South Africa, and they were saying that the learners, when they introduced competency-based curriculum there was too much noise in the classroom. Too much noise. Because the learners are discussing here, others are discussing there, others, everybody is doing something, a lot of movement. That is okay. That is in order so that learning can take place. But if you find yourself standing on next to the blackboard, then there is a problem. Move around, interact with them. So in essence, we are saying, let us endeavor to use learner-centered approaches in our teaching. Tuko pamoja? Sitaki kuendelea mbio hapo in as far as SBTSS is concerned. Now allow me very fast, I don't have a lot of time, to take you through TIMEC. TIMEC is another contemporary issue in our profession. TIMEC is written as T, capital T, I, M, E, C. TIMEC. TIMEC stands for Teacher, Induction, Mentoring, Teacher Induction, Mentoring, and Coaching. The Commission found it fit to complement professional development for teachers at the school level by appointing a mentor in every school. So when you go back to your schools, you will find there is somebody who is a mentor there, and they also have a mentee, somebody they are mentoring or coaching. Are we together? Hoping that with time, you too shall be given a mentor to mentor you through your career. The main agenda of the commission is professional development in terms of career. The commission will want you to develop in terms of your career, or your employer will want you to to develop in terms of their career. Of course, professional conduct that was dealt with in the morning, and performance management for efficiency, for efficient service delivery. The mentor that is given to you is supposed to help you with what? Both career development as well as psychosocial issues that one faces in life. Normally, whoever is chosen as a mentor is a teacher who is more experienced than yourself, who has been in the profession over time, and so they have acquired some experience. Are we together so far? So, how do you get career development through the help of another person? Some of the things that you can do is, like what I just said, you can observe that particular teacher in class. That is called coaching. They are coaching you to become either like them or better than them. You understand what I'm talking about? So you can observe them through what they are doing. That is through lesson observation. They can also help you to, I wouldn't say to download, because you have already downloaded the code of regulation for teachers studio. But they can also help you to discuss. You know, when you're discussing something with someone else, it becomes more clear, more easier to understand, isn't it? So you can discuss about the code of regulation with them, the code of conduct for teachers with them, and so on and so forth. I was looking at, as I was listening to the director discussing about the professional conduct, and I'm like, so many teachers don't know how far they should go with the learners. You can't go beyond what? Mambo ya kushika huku, wache, sawa? Don't even try. Don't even think about it. Are we together on that? So, there are so many things you are going to learn by just reading the code of conduct and ethics for teachers. The other day, a principal was taken even to court and actually has been dismissed as we speak for allowing a pupil, I think a student, to go to his residence. Your staff quarters are out of bounds for all students. Yet, all that is all in the code of, but the teachers read. If the principal did not read, and they were feigning ignorance, and you know ignorance has got no what? Does it have any difference? Not even in a court of law. They were told, the fact that you ignore the rules set by your employer, then you're not fit for the job. So he was dismissed. So we are saying, please read the code of conduct for teachers, discuss it with your colleagues, so that it may be clear to you. Now, as far as psychosocial issues are concerned, the mentor again will be dealing with things to do with financial, personal financial management. Already, I am happy that we had the mentor circle here in the morning some hours ago, and they were telling us of the mistakes that teachers make, huge mistakes that can cause them to become irresponsible thereafter. You have found a teacher who has been in the system for 10 years, 20 years, and they are speaking, and you are like, I also want to speak the same kind of a machine. Let me tell you, that will be a terrible mistake. Alright? Unless you've got other sources of income, if you're reading in this and this is your source of income, then please make sure that you make use of your income and make use of it diligently. And just get to know this, that there isn't money that is so big that one cannot spend. You know that? You give them $1 million today, in a month's time you will not have that million. It is so easy to spend that money. And again, there is so little money that one cannot save. So it's up to you to decide, I'm going to set apart 70% of my income for my expenditures. I'm going to budget. I'm going to have to pay rent from the 70%. I'm going to grow from the 70%. I'm going to eat from the 70%, but the 30%, or at least 20%, I am going to save it for myself. Okay? So that I can make more streams of income moving forward. So the mentor does all that and much more. And that program was started a few years back. We are still following up on the mentorship program. And so we hope one day you can also be mentored. And even before you're even a mentor, you need to also try to get information and get it from the right people so that you're not misled. Right now, like the lady was here, Madam Penina was saying, there are many people who are waiting for you like this. Are they quoting you? Have they started? They have started quoting you, telling you your payslip can get you this, can get you that, and even that. So please, guard your payslip, because if you don't guard it, someone else will take advantage of you, and then you'll be like, I don't want to be a teacher. Yet it is not the teaching that is the problem. It is how you mismanage or you manage your payslip. So that is on mentorship. And as I make a conclusion, I want to say that TIMEC is actually meant to preempt discipline among teachers instead of corrective mechanisms of managing discipline. When you come to us with the discipline issues, let me tell you, it really hurts. Because there is no one who we don't want to be punitive. We don't want to punish our teacher. Yet sometimes the information is pushed to that point. So we would rather we have no issues that can come over by doing what is expected of us. Having said all that, I wish we had more time. I want to wish you the very best as you began this career which is full of blessings. Let me tell you, utazoa baraka kwa hii career. Some of us know what it means and we speak from experience. Having for close to those memories. Counting. 20 years. Alright? Now, I think I'm now going to take this opportunity to invite my colleague to take us through the remaining bit on the other contemporary issues. But before then, Simuniamshie Mbili. Thank you very much. Let us welcome Madam Nancy Mwangi to take us through the bit. Karibisha. Asante sana. Hiyo itakuwa mzuri. Itakuwa tatu mzuri. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, my colleague, our director, human resource, my colleague, CSOs, teachers, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think we need to stretch a bit. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's be fast because I want to wind up the program with a topic to take you through, but not in the state that you are in. I have started here, for example, high five and maintain social distance. Good. Nimesema social distance. Good. Thank you. I want to take all that to these areas in a curriculum because after all is said and done. Now you've gotten into the job, you're employed, and you're settling in town, and with your social issues and the expectations and our reality on the ground is different. Yeah? So we are here to offer the curriculum, and Madam Edith has taken us through part of the pedagogies. Madam Edith has taken us through the professional areas and appraisal process in teaching. I want us to look at CBC, and this one, the part is the competence-based curriculum. I have a few slides. I want us today or to go over to take a walk and see the highlights. And for this purpose, I want to mention that CBC is in the current education policy, and that is being referred as the basic education curriculum framework. And when you visit the website, you've been given the web page, you will be able to read it through. It is there in policy. Please read through that document, and what we are taking you through is the aspect of maybe part of brief, what you should know, so that as we transit from early years in preschool, primary school, and secondary school, and into the tertiary institutions with our learners, we'll be able to understand the process. It has come a long way. Since year 2015, teachers have been trained into CBC, the competence-based curriculum. I know some of you are worried because I'm mentioning it and it is under some kind of investigation. Let me inform you that what is happening today is that there is a commission that has been sent out to do what other commissions have been sent to do or had done earlier with the former curriculums to look into issues. Because in every curriculum, during the process of implementation, there are some challenges that arise from the stakeholders, the learners, and maybe the teachers, and they affect the implementation. And so, the task force that has been given this responsibility is going to come up with recommendations, and these recommendations will look into some areas, not all of it, but it will look into some areas, and maybe some kind of reviews will be made in some specific areas, but not all of it. That is just the brief I had from that. But I want to say that since independence, we've had curriculum reforms. That is when we want to change the structure of education from 7, 3, 2, I think that was when we read back through the education policies, you know the policies that have been there since independence and the reform that took place in the mid-80s, 1981, that brought in the 844 curriculum, and that is the curriculum that has been handling all through. I also want to mention that through that journey of curriculum reform, that there are major there are major reviews that have come along that curriculum reform of 1981 that was implemented in 1985, and I know most of you are product of that. I'm sure with the reforms that have been, reviews that have been taking place or that have been implemented in that curriculum, some subjects have been dropped, but what has been left is what we have in schools, and we are referring to as the 844, which is remaining 2 years in primary, that is start 7 and 8, and the 4 years in our secondary school. So, for CBC, we are in the 6th grade, and that is now what is being looked into as the CBC implementation that is under review through a task force. The task force will give us recommendations, and it will only maybe highlight a few areas that need to be looked into. In brief, we have a few slides for you. As I go through it, I'll go through it very fast. It is a long document, but what we have are slides, and these slides are extracts from the policy that has been referred to as the basic education curriculum framework. And there were reasons as to why the curriculum had to be reformed. A curriculum reform means an overhaul. That is the bottom line. An overhaul of the education system. And that is what is happening in CBC. That we need this number of years in preschool, we need this number of years in primary school, we need this number of years in junior secondary, senior secondary, and for TVET and universities and colleges. So, in short, there is the rationale as what has been displayed there. You can read it through as I explained a few areas and and the reasons as to why the curriculum was called this under reform. Thank you. Kuna mtu ako na swali up to that point? No, we can continue. Huwa nauliza maswali nikianza. Yeah. So, the reasons as to why we need to align our curriculum with the Kenya Vision 2030. And those are the areas of Vision 2030, integrating ECD, that is preschool education, into primary education. We reform the secondary school curriculum. We modernize teacher training and develop programs for learners with special needs among others. And so, Madam Olivia was here and was telling you about the learners with SLE. Let's continue. In the current curriculum of 844, we see that it was more academic oriented, and mostly talent was not recognized. And if it was recognized, there was no pathway that this learner can be engaged into that as a career. That is in 844. There are other skills gaps that were identified, and these ones, when you look at the skills gap, like agriculture, entrepreneurial, vocational technical skills, innovation and creativity, and ICT. When you look back at the 844 curriculum when it was started, it had captured that. But along the way, it became tedious and expensive. And this is the case that we're experiencing today with CBC. And somehow, we may not revert to what we did. To remain more academic oriented, we need to bring these skills and ensure that our learners do not have that, and those who have other skills, they have those skills nurtured by the teachers. And when you look at CBC, there who is this learner? Who is under CBC? What competencies we need the learner to have? I think the screen is too bright. No, I want them to read as I explained to you. We need to have, in CBC, we need to have learners who have the 21st century skills. And when you look at 844, if a learner is not academically gifted, this learner got wasted. And that is why we have so many learners who don't know what to do with their lives and with their academics. At the same time, these learners are not able to fit into the world that we are living in. We are saying that we need a 21st century learner. I was looking at teacher training. The last time the review on teacher training was done was long time. And this is why we are having teachers who are being employed and they are not able to handle the learners of the 21st century. Because the teacher's training is the one we say in the old school. Same in the old school, but we need to bring ourselves and our skills, teaching skills, into par with the requirements or the needs of our learners. And that is why we have been taken through the SBTSS program by Madam Edith. The 21st century skill learner is one who has some characteristics the characteristics of the 21st century learner where you are. Yeah. One, I can say we need to have learners who are globally aware that these learners we are handling today should be aware of what is happening in Africa, in Asia, in America, and in Europe through the use of what? That internet, isn't it? Yeah? Thus, we have learners who are globally aware. We need to have learners who are good communicators. Good communicators. We need to have learners who are able to express themselves. I was listening to the principals in a meeting that we had at the beginning of the term, and they were getting quite concerned that some of the learners who are transiting to Form 1 cannot express themselves in writing and either in spoken language, and that is a challenge. Where did we miss the link? The learner who is not able to communicate. And when they get to school, we need to have them through the education system. They should complete school. They should not be frustrated. They should have value addition. Their parents are demanding for results. You see, so we have a great challenge. We need to have learners, or the 21st century learner is a problem solver. Are you here with a problem, or you're part of, are you here with a solution, or you're part of the problem? So, the 21st century learner will not be complaining. We need to have learners who are critical thinkers. We need to have learners who are collaborators, working through collaboration. Are we together? We also need learners who are civically engaged, learners who are self-directed. We have a challenge with the 844 that through the methods or the curriculum that we have been taken through, it is through oral recitation, repetition, and what? Rehearsing, isn't it? And so, they are not able to take or to give themselves direction. They cannot find solutions. They cannot find, they cannot carry out investigations, and so can only take up answers or any corrections from the teacher. And this is where you are taken through the IDL level 1 confirmatory. We need to move away from that. We need learners who are innovators. We have seen learners, and during the COVID period, let me say, our learners really invented. They came up with various gadgets. Some were trying to work on hand wash equipment through their own innovation. And the society behind it, we just laugh. Some learners in secondary school come up with innovations. They may come up with an aeroplane. And instead of assisting the learner, we laugh at it because it is not flying, isn't it? Yes. So this is where we are. We need learners who are innovative. We need learners who are financially and economically literate. Financially and economically literate. And we also need to have learners who are information and media literate through the use of what? Mobile phones, computer, use of the internet, using an email, writing an email and communicating to the whole world. Let's move to the other slide with the mission. Good. CBC as the vision. The vision is the one at the center. That is the vision. Have you read it on the screen? Yeah? Yeah? It is engaged and engaged. Yeah? And engaged, empowered, and ethical citizen. That is the vision. Hata nikimalizia masomo hapa. At least you know the vision of CBC. Let's go to the mission. The mission is nurturing every learner's potential. Nurturing every learner's potential. And this one you are taken through, you identify the potential. It says all learners are successful, and also the teacher will nurture the potential of the learner. We continue to the next slide. Three pillars of CBC. Yeah, the three pillars. Values, they are guiding principles and theoretical approaches. We also have values. In CBC, at the beginning, we were referring it to value-based education. Because it is an education that is based on a number of values, and these ones the teacher will guide the learners through so that they can develop these values as the teacher teaches. The values are love, responsibility, respect, unity, peace, patriotism, social justice, and integrity. And what we say is that values are taught. They are never taught. Values are taught. And here we have values are taught. They are not. They are not taught. Thank you. We proceed. The principles. It's based on several principles. Principle of opportunity, giving everyone an opportunity. Excellence, what I do in whichever area I develop or I work to get the excellence. Are we together? Perfection, diversity and inclusion is being taken through that. There is also the principle of parental empowerment and engagement. That is the one that now has, I think that is an area that will be reviewed, but I don't want to preempt. The other principle is on community service, learning. The other principle is differentiated curriculum and learning. We may not go through the theoretical approaches, but I want to take you through the core competencies for CBC. As the teacher is teaching, how many have been inducted at school level on CBC? Tuone kwa mkono kwanza. How many? None. Okay. As the teachers are planning, the teachers always try to bring out some competencies of learners in the lesson as they teach. And not all the competencies can be developed in one lesson. The teacher will look at the lesson and see which competence best suits a certain topic or subtopic when the teacher is teaching. So actually, the competencies are developed or are brought out during the lesson, and it is the teacher's initiative to select the most favorable competence as per the subject, topic, subtopic, or what we are referring to as strand and sub-strand. And the first competence is communication and collaboration. And this one is now what is being brought out in SBTSS. As learners are working, learners are put in groups, so there's much learning in groups. Partners or working in pairs, tell your partner this or do this, sharing, and thus there's a lot of communication and collaboration. And the second competence is critical thinking and problem solving. And this one, still in SBTSS, we are carrying out, or the teachers are supposed to develop the competence of critical thinking and problem solving. The third competence is imagination and creativity. Another competence of citizenship, digital literacy. This where we are having issues. At school level, there is an ICT teacher. For your information, there is an ICT teacher who has been inducted so that the teacher can support the other members of staff in the use of digital devices that are available in school. So if the teacher is not able to use, or if you are not able to use the digital devices, you are supposed to work in collaboration with the ICT teacher in the school, so that according to the lesson and observation sheet that you are taken through, you can incorporate ICT in teaching. Tuko pamoja? Yeah? That's how we go about it. And at the same time, it is not a mistake to have the ICT teacher with you during the lesson if the teacher is free. And if you wanted to plan for the use of ICT resources, and maybe the teacher is engaged, you can always reschedule the lesson so that the teacher can support you during the lesson. So that is how it goes. Those teachers are invited. Please make use of the resources because it is now a competence that you need to develop with their learners. The other competence is learning to learn. That what you learn in start one, you can make use of it even today at your age and in your teaching experience. How do you make plurals? How are you able to tell the months of the year? So all those processes, we say that something that the knowledge you receive today that you can use in future is what we say learning to learn, applying what you already know. Self-efficacy, efficacy is self-confidence, esteem, developing esteem of learners, and confidence. Developing the confidence of learners through engaging the learners in various activities. I want us to look at the paradigm shift And why are we moving from the 844 system to CBC? There is a shift of having less of an activity and giving more of an activity. That is the paradigm shift. And we are having an area where we focus less to what we focus more. In most cases, when you are teaching, it was wrong for a learner to talk to class. I mean to talk to another learner in class. Why are you talking? But in CBC, what are we saying? Collaboration, tell your partner, isn't it? Tell your neighbor. And is that what they do in church? Watu wengine waliona kama walimu wameanza kuhubiri. So it is focus more on a specific area and less on a specific what? Area. And we are moving from less content focus, reading, rehearsing, reciting. Which is the other one that I have not mentioned? Content. Reading. And the teacher would give content either from textbooks, the notes, read for yourself, and so much. And focus more on having competencies or developing competences with learners. And the other shift is from a rigid and prescriptive curriculum with limited flexibility. In most cases, as you take the learners through the lesson, you may find like you are doing what we are doing here, like what I'm doing, lecturing. Are we together? Yeah. Where you have all the knowledge and you are giving it to the passive listeners. So, the method is more of rigid, and we are focusing more on a flexible and approximate pathway that offers opportunities for specialization. So if you give learners some materials to use, you do not prescribe to them what to do with the materials. You let them investigate. You allow them to investigate. And the other shift is from a focus on summative assessment and competition. Summative assessment undertaken in Class 8, Form 4, and ETC. That is summative. So no other assessment, either in form of classroom assessment or continuous assessment by the teacher, that would really count. And in CBC, there is a balance between the formal and the summative assessment, and also excellence. That's why currently we are having the summative assessment for grade 6. They will undertake a neck examination which will be written, and that will be done in 3 days concurrently with the ACPE. At the same time, they were assessed in grade 3, but that was not really a summative assessment. Summative assessment marks the end of a training what? A learning program, which is in primary. So, in CBC, there are several types of assessments every year. At the end of every topic, at the end of every year, is what we call classroom assessment, and most of these assessments are coming from NEC. So we are having assessment from grade 3, grade 4, 5, and 6. Meaning that the learner has been assessed up through the primary program, and in all the classes in form of classroom assessment. We are also shifting from the emphasis in schooling. Umeenda shule? In most cases, if you visit the marketplace, most of the people have gone to school, isn't it? But was there or did they gain an education? So there is a shift from schooling to what? Emphasis on education. What did you learn? Hapa ndipo tunaanza kuchongwana. Ulienda shule ama ulisoma? Ulisoma. Uliza mwenzako, ulienda shule ama ulisoma? Ulienda shule ama ulisoma? You know, they cannot answer because they don't know what they were doing. There was emphasis on schooling. Hiyo ndio kwenda shule. But in CBC, emphasis on education. And then finally, the paradigm shift from teaching, where the teacher is the focus, to learning. Mumesoma ama mumefundishwa. Our teachers are always completing the syllabus. That is the bottom line. But we need to shift from completing the syllabus to learning. What have the learners achieved? And finally, I want us to look at the structure. That is the structure of CBC. We read from, is it left to right? But we are going to start at the base of that diagram. It starts with the pre-primary, where there is green. Yeah, they can see it. And to the extreme right, there is foundation level, and the level is special needs education. At the extreme left, bottom, is irregular. Is what we are calling a regular pathway. I just take you through the structure. From pre-primary, the learner enrolls at the age of 4 and 5 years. We have the years at the extreme left. 4 to 5 years, that's pre-primary. Assessment is carried out, and they join grade 1, 2, and 3. That is the regular pathway. Are we together? They are now at the age of 9 years in grade 3. An assessment is carried out, and they transit to grade 4, 5, and 6. Okay, it's shutting down. You come and shout. Okay. They join middle school. They complete middle school at grade 6. They complete grade 6, that's primary. And then grade 7, 8, and 9 is what is called junior secondary. And from junior secondary, there are 3 pathways. The 3 pathways are what is displayed from the left: arts and sports and science, social sciences, that is history and humanities, and then finally STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now, depending on your subject combination, those are the schools that you pick, or those are the pathways that the learners will take. But before that, we have the 3 years of junior secondary education, and all the curriculum is given. What they are doing in primary is what they are doing junior secondary, but they are specialized at the senior school. Are we together? Then from the other extreme end, where we have the SME, we have foundation, and the next level is intermediate. From intermediate, mostly those in grade 6 are being assessed together with those in intermediate. So we have intermediate learners, and they'll proceed to the other level, which is we are calling pre-vocation. And this is where all the needs of learners are considered. And then we have the final stage in SME in vocational training. Okay? Yeah, nimemaliza. Now, that one is good. That is a comprehensive policy I've taken you through. I want to remind you about the remote learning. That is another emerging issue. Hiyo ni ya dakika 10. Mpaka niseme. Remote learning. Yeah. What do you know about remote learning? Yeah. Yeah? It's a concept. What is the concept? Where the teacher and the learner are not in the same environment right now. Can you go home and we learn remotely? I send the notes. Will you read them? Yes. That one is a good. That's a plus. In remote learning, I can go through it and give a highlight. We have different platforms for teaching. Najua pale atawaekea mkiangalia, but I've just mentioned. There are different platforms that the teacher can use to deliver a lesson, not just face to face because of the challenges of face to face. And this is what actually happens to the learners in the classroom, even when you tell them to come over the weekend, to come over the public holidays, to come in the morning, to stay late in the evening. So this is a challenge of face to face. But the teachers need to explore more on the remote learning methods by use of various platforms and use of various devices for teaching. I want us to look at them. Yeah? Audio based. What is the learner using? A radio, isn't it? It's audio. Are we together? So those these programs and lessons are recorded, and the teacher can pre-record a lesson and send it
My name is Eden Keruke, CSO Murang'a zone. I can see there is Mugesha present. Um, I didn't get the names of the other schools that are present from Murang'a, but whichever way we shall be meeting. For now, we are all Kandara people. Now, there are some very important documents that you've been asked to read. I want to give you the website of PSC. I know you may know it already, but just the website where you can go to downloads and download there.